Video 10. Moving on now to creating a new project. The first thing we must write is a name, and we can also enable or disable the pipeline and dam in this studio. For this project, I'm going to enable them, and then we click here on Create. We can also give the studio's users access to whichever projects we want them to have access to. By doing this, we can control the security by only allowing certain users to access each project. In the first window within Projects, we have Resources, where we provide storages to the project. In this case, for the pipeline, I want it to use this storage set up in the letter J. For the shared storage, I would like it to use the same unit, although I could have other units available. This time I want to set it up with the letter Q, for example. I click on Update Storage so that it saves these changes. In this point, we can also manage the render farms that we have available in order to associate them to a certain project. Once we have assigned the storage, we will go to the second section, Permissions, which is where we decide which users will have access to this project. Here we will also decide if they can have access to the project by FTP. This is our user. We drag him over here to the left. If we wish to add more users, we click here on Add Users. Here we can see that we have the user InfoSimple, which is our own. We want this user to have access to this workstation. If we had more workstation profiles available, they would appear here below. But in this case, we just have this one workstation profile. We drag this over here to the left so that the user has access to this workstation. Here we can decide if we want to give the user FTP access, either to upload or download or both. We can also assign roles to the user in terms of their function in the project. For example, if it's someone who works in the production aspect of the project, or if it's a supervisor who is going to approve the publications. We click on Update to save these changes, and now we can move on to the next section, where we will be able to see the properties of the pipeline. In this section, we can choose a template. In this case here, there is only one available, the animation feature film. These profiles are extracted from the Shotgun templates. In this case, we choose the template from the production of an animation film, and here we have the graph of entities, in this case asset, shot, sequence and episode. Episode is only used in the case of series, but it could work for both series and animation films. This is the pipeline graph, and although it's not possible to edit at the moment, this is where we would decide within the pipeline how many departments or steps there are going to be, as well as which input and output files there are in each of them, how the publications are done, and the loads within the pipeline. Now we would save the graph, although in this case we haven't made any changes. Then we can move on to manage the tasks in our dam. What you're going to see here is the mini dam that we have created at Simple. This dam was not created in order to be a substitute for Shotgun by any means, but rather to serve as a translator between the tasks within Simple and other dams. For example, an F-Track, S-Track and Shotgun, or any that's on the market. In this case, we can create more tasks, assign them, as well as generate these tasks and work on them.